Happy Marchintosh and welcome to another Retro Tech Guy video. This is the second of hopefully 5 videos during this Marchintosh season 2023. This week we're looking at this interesting combo that I picked up recently. I was curious about that reverse L shape, yes, that is a thing, as we'll see. And that innocent looking Macintosh Plus may not be just as innocent as it looks. So first impressions is that this keyboard is incredibly dirty. And so is the computer and that base thing. It says Univation there. It's somewhat hard to make out. But yeah, that button there on the drive is just waiting to be pushed. So let's see what I got my hands on here. Well, first there's some text there. There's a serial number and a date, US style, 24th of March, 1986. Wow, soon 37 years ago. So a cover pops up when you press the button, and there's a cartridge looking thing inside. Let's see what it says. It says SyQuest 200, no defect track. SyQuest. That rings a bell. I wonder if 200 is storage capacity? That seems quite a lot for 1986. So this is the back. Not very unlike a floppy disk. Let's have a look inside of this. See how it looks. Well, wow, there's an actual hard platter in there, like a hard disk. That is cool. I'm looking forward to seeing if this thing works at all, and I'm going to try to find out more about it. So I'm putting it back inside for safekeeping. Wow, it's quite satisfying pushing that in there. So let's have a look at the battery and see if there's any leakage. Wow, that's a red battery holder. Never seen that before. I wonder if that's original. You can see some leaking there already. So it's a screwdriver to pry it out with. So yeah, this is a bit stuck, and I guess I should be using gloves for this, but I've had pluses with such corroded battery terminals that the terminals had corroded away totally and spread to the analog board, but this doesn't look too bad. There's some corrosion there, but I can't see any date. Strange. So this machine doesn't have the sticker here on the back. I wonder if it came off or it was never put there. I can see actually screws there in the screw holes up on top, and we see them here on the bottom as well. But there's no screw here behind the battery hatch, and that does usually indicate that somebody has been into the machine before. But that red battery hatch, that is strange and unusual. So I flipped it round, and this thing is really heavy. It feels like solid and made of metal. It feels like twice as much as the actual computer there. Really seems to be built like a tank. So we've seen there's a drive in this part, and in here there must be a power supply, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was another drive, a hard drive maybe, in here, judging from the weight of it. What does it say here? Univation 40 plus 10 Apple Slimline and 110 volts. So this thing is from the US then, must be. So here's a fuse, and here is the US socket. This is Sweden, so we don't have sockets like this here. So this seems to be imported from the US. So there's a power switch here, and let's see, this must be the power in from the outlet, and this must be power out then to connect the computer into. And here we have an empty slot with some tape covering and cables inside. I wonder if something is missing or if the proper slot is just missing. This cable is screwed on, and it looks like a SCSI cable. So it probably just connects through SCSI to the computer. Here's another switch. How does that work? You pull it out to switch it. You can't just push it. You have to pull it out to flip it. I wonder what it does. I think it was in the downwards position. So the case is actually angled here to match the computer. With the computer on it, here we can see that it actually fits very nicely. It's clearly made for the Macintosh. The fit is perfect here on the back, and also here on the side as well. And yeah, it's perfect. And here on the front, it just sticks out a little bit like the drive does. So I'll be opening the Macintosh on this Univation drive dock thing to see what's inside and testing them, of course, as well. But first, they both need a thorough clean, I think. I usually clean things up even before I test them. This stuff was absolutely filthy, so some plastic protection there for the desk was in order. Shame that number 7 key stem is broken and the key is missing. Does anyone know of any good 3D printing files for stems and keys? That would be great to see done on this machine. I usually get the keys to soak in soapy water for a day before I scrub them to loosen the grime. The back of this keyboard PCB has loads of dried flux that no one ever cleaned up. At the factory, I guess, quite satisfying to get it done. I clean all the keycaps individually on all 5 sides. There are no shortcuts to cleaning these. I usually don't do it all in one go, but this time I actually did, and I had to pay the price with a blister. Nothing beats window cleaner and some sturdy paper towels for getting most of the grime off old hardware. I've come to associate the smell with retro computers. I guess I don't clean windows enough. I can also do the glass on the CRT while I'm at it. Although the Univation dock is the main attraction here, I'm curious to see if the computer turns on and also how it looks inside, since I've never seen that red battery holder before. Nope, nothing, no sound or anything. I did check the brightness control also, but no sign of life in this one. I was having unusual difficulties getting this opened. I guess this was the second sign of strangeness after the red battery holder. Finally it came off, and well, this was a surprise. Someone has totally coated the inside of the case with copper sheeting. It looks rather professionally done too, with cutouts done for the air vents on the top and the sides. I've never seen anything like this before. I consulted the community about this, and the best suggestion seems to be that it's some kind of interference shielding in a sensitive environment. That does explain the tighter fit. Fascinating. So next, strangeness. This cable, never seen one of these before in a Plus. And what is it attached to, and where does it go? It's attached to what looks like a canister tied to the frame there in the back. Very strange indeed, and with quite a big cable there as well. I've never seen this in a Macintosh Plus before. And the cable goes to the C1 slot for a capacitor there on the analog board. So this must be a capacitor replacement. Let's take a closer look at the canister. Yes, this does seem to be a replacement capacitor for C1. But why? This looks like a car part. Who knew Nokia made giant capacitors? Good thing they didn't write M-POP on reefer caps. C1 is supposed to have the value of 3.3 microfarads at 50 volt, but Mac84 does note in his recap guide, see link in the description, that this one does require special replacement capacitors at C1. I guess this one was a replacement solution. But is this why the computer isn't working, I wonder? Let's take a quick look at the logic board. Immediately we can see something unusual on the back there. There's nothing strange on top. on this side though, but on the back there is this red bodge wire that doesn't exactly look factory grade work. Wonder what it is for. Has anyone seen this before? So if we turn the board, we see that it is just under the processor here. So it's a bodge then between two legs of the processor. Here's the 68K processor then in all its glory. This on the analog board is also new. The protective paper here is attached with fishing wire. This is a first, definitely. So I bought a bag of these plastic rivets from AliExpress for a Plus a while back that had the paper attached with adhesive. I thought there were way too many, but they have proved surprisingly useful for several machines already. More surprises, they seem to have glued some random pieces of rubber here. So I guess that's another reason why the fit was so tight with the case. So random. There's a surprising amount of empty holes here. They don't usually look like that, I don't think. Here's another piece of black rubber glued. This doesn't look good for real. Seems like a burn in the solder contacts. The other side, yes, see it's burned there. I remember seeing this once before, but I don't remember if I managed to fix it. And there's the initial alarm bell, the red battery holder. What a surprising machine. I did some research online when I first got this combo, but I couldn't find anything at first. It's true that I didn't have much to go on. Univation is a surprisingly popular and generic name for a company. Then I was pointed to this issue of InfoWorld by a fellow retro computing enthusiast. On the cover of this issue from 9th of June 86, we have a young William Gates smiling to the InfoWorld reader. Yes, it does say William. And on page 18, there is a news article on top, which does shed some light on this Univation contraption. Univation to offer Mac hard disk system. Of course, up until the launch of the Macintosh SE in 1987, none of the compact Macs from the launch in 1984 had any internal hard drives. And it seems Univation offered this third-party alternative in mid-1986. According to the article, the design is a reverse L shape, and the system takes advantage of high-speed, quote, small computer system interface, unquote. An interface that would go to history as its acronym, the SCSI. The SCSI interface was standardized in 1986, and it's early days when it's referred to by its full name. Several different configurations with fixed and removable cartridges are described, and judging from the 40+10 marking we saw on our unit, what I've got is probably a 40 megabyte fixed and 10 megabyte removable system. That exact configuration isn't mentioned here, but the 30 megabyte fixed and 10 megabyte removable system is mentioned at $3,295 US, which in today's money is the equivalent to $8,990. Considering that the Plus itself launched at $2,999 in 1986, this must have been a pretty high-end setup back in the day. And yes, the article does mention it being used at the now defunct Hughes Aircraft Company in Fullerton, California. A microcomputer consultant at the company is quoted as saying it passed their acid test by copying 196 files. This will definitely be my new benchmark. The reverse L shape gave me another reason to smell window cleaner. As we saw, this thing is clearly a US 110 volt appliance, and so I had to get hold of this converter, as Sweden has 230 volts. So let's see if we can copy those 196 files with this thing. I put my known working Plus on the dock and connected them for testing. The lights on the dock turn on, but there's not really any sound. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any life in these drives either. I guess that shouldn't come as a surprise for anyone who has been around old SCSI drives. I tried to reinsert the cartridge and also flip that switch on the back. I suspect the switch switches between the fixed hard drive and the removable disk, and I made sure to restart the computer between attempts. Right, let's finally look at the inside of the reverse L shape. There are loads of screws, but along the side seems to be the best bet. Some of these screws must be for that cartridge drive. With those screws removed, it seems to have come loose. There seems to be top part and the bottom part, and they slide apart with some gentle force. Wow, the top is heavy. So there's a fan there at the bottom of the case. I'm marking these connectors to the lights right away, otherwise I'll never get them on the right way around again. A fan there on the bottom needs disconnecting as well from the top half. Wow, no wonder the top is heavy. Both drives are on the side. The hard drive is mounted underneath the cartridge drive. That is one impressive hard drive. And there are the electronics mounted underneath. Okay, let's not shock this drive above 40 Gs. I love these warning for robots. So here is the hard drive. It's a Tandon TM755, and judging from that 40 plus 10 we saw, I guess this is the 40 megabyte. Impressive 5¼ inch housing. Also lots of technical head and cylinder information there on the drive itself. Here the controller board, or boards. The little one seems to be attached on top of the bigger one. Lots of interesting components there. We'll take a closer look at them later. Nice drive combo, both the 5¼ inch format. The hard drive even has a good looking faceplate. I wanted to turn it on a while it was open to listen for sounds better. This was the fan sounding. I didn't hear it earlier, but I think the cables from the electronics may have obstructed it before. With the fan disconnected, we could hear a ticking sound from the hard drive. Anyone know how to diagnose this off the bat? No spinning up sound though, so in all likelihood it's toast. I guess I could open it sometime and see if I can get it spinning. I'm not familiar with this media defect map on the hard drive. Was that known effects from the factory after testing? Seems like it, since it's printed like this here. I found this Tandon product brochure from November 1985. What's the one specification Tandon hasn't changed in 10 years? Can you guess? Why? It's staying power, of course. The brochure actually has our TM755, non-ironic thin line of its time, of course, with an onboard microcontroller and a whopping 51.09 megabyte capacity. Let's not waste those 0.09 megabytes in promotion. I guess 40 something was available for the user then. Here's the user manual to the drive, found online from March 85, with all technical specifications one would ever want. Links to all these are in the video description. The SyQuest drive is a SQ312RD, as we can see here. Love that this engineering level is 18. Imagine the kind of stuff they did at level 40. The SQ312RD manual is also online with loads of nice illustrations and specifications. We can read of the 12.75 megabyte storage capacity, so I guess 10 megabyte was available to the user. I'm unsure of how this related to the SyQuest 200 cartridge inside. Maybe 200 is just the name of it. Also again, of course, the non-ironic mini floppy form factor. Should we make that a thing? 5 1/4 inch is henceforth the mini floppy form factor. Love the last key feature there, ruggedized for portable systems. Who doesn't want ruggedized computing? Taking a closer look at the controller boards, we see all the components of a microcomputer here, the Zilog Z8681, with what looks like a ROM chip in a socket and 2 crystal oscillators. I wonder if the Zilog is the microprocessor mentioned in the brochure, or if there is a microprocessor built into the drive. It says SMS model OMTI 3100 on top there, and I think I found a product brochure from this Scientific Micro Systems, which seems to include this board. See the 3100 series there compatible with the Macintosh. I also found this reference manual from 1988, but judging from the layout, it's for a later revision board. The other smaller board seems to be Univision's own. I guess it's power related. The Univation dock once provided exceptional storage expansion capacity for the Macintosh Plus, which was what it was lacking, storage. With this Univation drive dock, the user got fixed and removable storage at high capacity for the time, but at the hefty price tag of $5,894 for the combo in 1986. That is the equivalent to a whopping $16,000 in 2023. Now this piece of hardware is very much obsolete. Even retro computing enthusiasts replace their hard drives with Blue SCSI, Pi SCSI, SCSI to SD, and the floppy drive for the EMU floppy. No wonder if you have a 30-year-old SCSI drive, it probably doesn't work, and if it does, it won't for long. This reverse L-shape may be obsolete, but I do like the relatively sleek design. And maybe I can sneak a Blue SCSI and a floppy emulator in there, or have it as an oversized case for my Pi SCSI maybe. Do leave your suggestions in the comment section below. And that's it for this video. If you've enjoyed it, do hit that like button, and if you'd like more retro computing coming your way, do consider subscribing to the channel. And thank you for watching. Bye!